If war does break out in Europe, is America ready for the fight? Specifically, our fighter pilots. A new study shows American fighter pilots are not getting enough training, including time in the sky, to stay ready for combat missions. Joining me now, retired Air Force test and fighter pilot Chris Gentile. Chris, it's great to have you. So flight hours dropped to historic lows in 2020. How concerning is this to you from a military readiness standpoint?
It's always a challenge to maintain the level of readiness to operate these systems in complex environments. We've had a long period, 20 years of relatively low intensity conflict. But at the same time, staying so busy that the vast majority of the hours that we were getting were in deployed operations, facing relatively low capability adversaries and not what we could be called on to deal with cases like, what could be next.
And that is really part of the issue here, is it not, Chris? That it's hard to duplicate, just like you can practice for a football game, but until the clock starts and you're in it, it's hard to duplicate it.
Absolutely. There's nothing that quite replicates the challenges and, just sheer confusion, what's going on in a major conflict that you just can't get, flying once a week or less.
Yeah. So speaking of which, ideally you'd get, as I understand in that article from the journal, 4 sorties or missions a week. If that's at 1 or 2 a week, what kind of impact does that have on you as a pilot?
Well, it impacts both, how strong you can be on any individual mission and also the diversity of missions that you can train for. Our frontline squadrons are flying very capable airplanes that are equipped to do a lot of different tasks: air to air, air to ground, destruction of air defenses. Each one of those has specific skill sets that they need to keep charged.
The other issue here for us, I guess, from a business standpoint, Chris, is just inflation. It's hitting the Pentagon, the cost of fuel prices. And the other issue that you're well aware of is that the Air Force has an aging fleet.
Absolutely. I would say the aging fleet is a big concern. When I started flying aircraft right about the early 2000s in the Air Force, we had a very mature fleet: F-15s, F-16s in the Air Force, F-18s and F-14s in the Navy. The new programs, the F-22 and the F-35, weren't yet into full production, tying up a lot of the budget at that point. And so we had a tried and true fleet that was the result of all of our Cold War investment. And I was able to fly 250 hours a year when I was a young officer. As that went on, I was fortunate enough to move up into airplanes like the F-22, more complex, more expensive. They were being produced slower. Spare parts were being produced slower. They were more maintenance intensive to protect things like their stealth characteristics. And all that added up into less and less hours every year that went by.
You mentioned how complex these new jets are. I'm wondering about simulators. Chris, can you make up for this time that you're losing in the air with simulators? Again, obviously, we're saying this is not anywhere near what it's like to actually be up in the air with them or in combat. But can simulators help, and can they try to make up this difference?
Simulators are certainly part of the solution. In fact, to truly prepare for a modern combat operation, there are some things that we just can't do in real life, that we just can't build the ranges or the adversaries or the simulators, the open air simulators, in order to enforce that. But at the same time, flying in a simulation, the physiological stresses, the G-forces, the heat, the noise, the confusion, and that actual fear, that can come with operating an aircraft dynamically, it's just not present. So it really takes both. And really, there's a mix of technologies coming out to both increase the fidelity of in-flight simulations and increase the applicability of that ground simulator time to staying sharp on combat skills.
Right. What worries you the most? I guess what I'm hearing in this article anyway is what's required to maintain high levels of proficiency is not being met. What troubles you the most about that, Chris?
Well, it's pretty much right there in the title. This is an incredibly expensive capability. Our aircraft are top in the world. Our fighter pilots are, the product of decades of training and investment. And there's nothing more expensive in warfare than a second place capability.
Well put. Retired Air Force test and fighter pilot Chris Gentile, thank you for your insight and your time tonight. We appreciate it. Great to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.